Good morning, everybody. It is Election Day 2024, 8:31, as we are taking a live look at Shawano this morning on a rainy Tuesday, November 5th. As folks heading out to the polls, they've been open for just over an hour and a half now, an hour and 32 minutes. And we are seeing lines at the polls in several areas throughout northeast Wisconsin. Thanks so much for being with me, everyone. Emerson Lehmann here. We'll be checking in with Chief Meteorologist Steve Beylon in a moment, but we want to give you a quick little update on Election Day 2024 so far. Again, the polls have been open for just over an hour and a half here, and we are giving you a live look at one of the polling locations here in Green Bay. This is courtesy of our photojournalist Shane Fitzsimmons, who's out there with Kristen Allen. They will be coming up live in our 9 a.m. newscast, Action 2 News, mid-morning. Make sure to tune in for that. But as you can see, the election workers are there at the table, line out the door for the polls. The Wisconsin Elections Commission telling us that they are expecting not as long of waits as maybe some people experienced if they took part in early voting. They're with more poll locations out there than there were for early voting. They are expecting the waits to not be as long, but again, some of these folks getting out early to cast their ballot, do their American duty to vote for their political candidates that they hope to see take office come January. Again, this is a live look at Green Bay, and we will continue to track this as we move along throughout the day here. We're going to be providing you updates both from here at the digital news desk as well as on air and online at wbay.com. Then, of course, all of our normal newscasts as well taking place. We've got the whole team ready to be on standby throughout the day, bringing you all the latest updates as things take place. So again, make sure to stick with us. We are the station to be with for all of your political coverage for the local and presidential races that are all taking place right now. Let's talk about those early voting numbers here. So the Wisconsin Elections Commission sharing some early voting numbers with the public here, and just take a look at these here. So in Brown County alone, over 45,000 people took advantage of the early absentee voting opportunity. In Outagamie County, 35,000. And then Winnebago County saw nearly 26,000 people taking advantage, over a million Wisconsinites choosing to vote early. There was over 121,000 I saw this morning in Dane County down near Madison. So a lot of folks making sure to take part in the early voting experience and getting those votes cast. Now, remember, even though folks voted early, they cannot start counting those ballots until Election Day. So that means for they haven't been able to start counting those ballots until just a little bit ago. So definitely going to take some time to get those votes counted. The Wisconsin Elections Commission on Action 2 News this morning said that it's probably going to go into the early morning hours for a lot of those local and state races. So that doesn't mean that anything's gone wrong. It just means that those election workers are taking the time to not cast those ballots, count those ballots and count those votes and make sure that everything is running properly, running smoothly. So they are just asking folks to trust the process and to stay up to date as all of the results continue to flood in. Of course, you can stay up to date by going to wbay.com. We have live results that will be flowing in throughout the evening into the morning. Join us on Action 2 News tomorrow morning for all those updates as well. But we want to bring in Steve Beylon now, Chief Meteorologist, because along with the Election Day excitement, Steve, we've also got some weather excitement as well, because you couldn't not have a first alert weather day for Election Day 2024, right? That's just how it had to all come together here.
That's just how Mother Nature decided to draw it up, Emerson. And I'll be really honest. This first alert weather day, it's kind of a marginal thing. But here's the thing: we decided to pull that cord on that first alert weather day because today is Election Day. We've got lots of people are going to be heading out to vote. And the weather is not looking great, and it could be really disruptive as we go into the midday and the afternoon, because we're anticipating not just showers, but also some thunderstorms to move across the area, and some of these could be on the strong side. So this is our next weather maker that we're tracking, And we're going to have a few strong thunderstorms for the midday and the afternoon. And again, this is impactful for people who want to get out and go to the polls and exercise their right to vote. Right now, it is a wet start here in Green Bay. We've got some showers. It's 53 degrees, and that northeast wind, it's pretty breezy. It's sustained at 23 miles an hour, and there's some higher gusts. So there's a look at First Alert Viper Max. You can see the showers that are pushing off to the north and the east. The rain is a little bit heavier, moving away from Fond du Lac into southern areas of Calumet County. So around Kiel and Elkhart Lake, it's raining a little bit harder compared to folks farther to the west. And some of the heavier rain that came through the valley this morning is now pushing into upper Michigan. So some of you are getting a little bit of, I wouldn't quite call it a reprieve from the rain, but it has lightened up. But there's more rain coming in from the south and west. And that batch of rain that comes in during the midday and the afternoon could have these heavier thunderstorms. So basically from Green Bay and south and west into central Wisconsin, that's where we have a level 1 risk of severe weather today. What exactly does that mean? Well, the Storm Prediction Center out of Norman, Oklahoma, they have a scale of 1 to 5. 5 is like the most serious severe weather situation. This is a 1, so this is a marginal risk of severe weather through this evening, which means that isolated strong to severe thunderstorms are a possibility. Now, what can we expect from these thunderstorms? They could have some downpours, and keep in mind that, a lot of the trees across northeast Wisconsin are losing their leaves. The leaves are floating down into some of the storm drains. And if we get heavy rain, the leaves can clog up that drainage and cause ponding of water, especially in low-lying spots. So if you're driving this afternoon, that's something that bears some watching. Some of these storms could have some gusty winds, perhaps up around 50-plus miles an hour. And while the atmosphere isn't terribly unstable, at least in comparison to other severe weather situations, there is a little bit of some potential spin, if you will, which can potentially cause a tornado to flare up somewhere across the state. That would probably be very isolated or very unlikely to happen. But it is possible, and we're going to continue to first alert you to any changes in the forecast as we go through the afternoon. Showers, and then some thunderstorms, midday and afternoon, possibly strong. We're in the mid-50s right now. We'll climb to a high of 63. Temperatures will jump up a little bit in the afternoon as northeast winds begin to shift to the south, and that's courtesy of this front coming through that's going to cause this risk of some heavy thunderstorms. So first alert pinpoint predictor, we'll put it into motion, and you can see the showers that are going to move through the area. There's the embedded thunderstorm activity, 1 o'clock this afternoon, all the way into 5 p.m., so people driving home from work, or perhaps driving over to the polls to vote, they're going to be dealing with some pockets of heavy rain. Now, once we get towards this evening, the rain and storms are moving out. Clouds will probably hang in there overnight. Skies will be mostly cloudy, and then we'll see some patchy sunshine for Wednesday. So tomorrow looks partly sunny, but it probably will be dry. On top of the rain that you've received over the past 24 hours, an additional 3/4 of an inch to a full inch is possible across the Northwoods, lighter totals south and east. Those rainfall totals are very dependent on exactly where those storms track over the next few hours. So I wouldn't say those rainfall totals are gospel or anything, but you get the general gist of who's going to get more and who's going to get less, assuming that the forecast pans out as we think it will. Our severe weather outlook, low, but watching for an upgrade to the moderate category depending on what happens over the next few hours, if everything just pans out just right. Also noteworthy, temperatures. A bit of a range because of the front bisecting the area. We've got cooler 40s in the north, but south of the front, it's a bit milder. 65 in Fond du Lac, 61 in Sheboygan, and that's where you're going to find some humidity. You probably felt it yesterday, but south of Green Bay, our dew points are pretty close to 60, and that's going to be pushing northward through the Fox Valley into Green Bay as that front gets a shove from low pressure. Where there's humidity and mild air, we've got a south wind, but where it's not as humid and cooler, you've got a northeast breeze. So you can see how the air is converging right along that frontal boundary, and as the low pressure system passes over the front, that's a good recipe for those showers and thunderstorms. So there's your First Alert Super 7-day forecast. 63 today, Cooler 40s and 50s across the north woods. Showers, thunderstorms. Some could be heavy or strong this afternoon. We'll get a break from the rain Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That 3-day stretch looks partly, then mostly sunny with highs in the 50s. Friday's high is 57, but we'll drop back into the lower 40s for Friday evening. We got another round of high school playoff football action. West Appear versus Kaukauna. Don't forget the coats. Don't forget the blankets. Don't forget some money so the kids can get hot chocolate at the Booster concession stand. Good luck to West Appear and Kaukauna. It's going to be a great game, and we'll have highlights of all the games across the area Friday night at Action 2 News at 10. Our sports team is going to be all over those high school playoff games. And then the weekend, it looks dry for the first half, but the second half will probably be wet. We'll have showers coming in Saturday night into Sunday. Sunday looks a bit breezy. And at first blush, that storm system could bring us anywhere from 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch of rain. Higher rainfall totals north and east, lower rainfall totals south and west. We will continue to first alert you to any changes in that forecast as that weather maker gets a little bit closer, Emerson. So a little bit unsettled early and late in your First Alert Super 7-day forecast, but I promise you there's some drier weather in the middle, Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday with highs in the 50s, and that's still warmer than average for this time of year.
Yeah, pleasant temperatures for this fall season, Steve. We love that. If you are heading out to vote today, keep those umbrellas handy because they just, like you said, consistent scattered showers and storms throughout the day here. So really at any point, some folks could be getting wet as I look at our different sky cams we have here available at the desk. And everywhere you look, there's rain all over the place. So
you know what, Emerson? A good idea is, to download our free WBAY First Alert Weather app. And, while you're in line, because it takes a while to get to the front of the line to, cast that ballot, that's a good time to pop open our app, see where the storms are across the area, plan out your afternoon. If you're a parent, plan out when you got to go pick up the kids and all that sort of stuff. So the app is very helpful on days where people are getting out and about. So we encourage you to download it. Of course, it is always free.
And on the days when they're not getting out and about, right? They just want to hang out and see what the weather's looking like. Always download that app.
I'm just trying to give people a good excuse to tap the app.
Absolutely. No, we appreciate that, Steve. We will let you get ready. As you see on the bottom here, make sure to watch Action 2 News mid-morning at 9. Steve and Aisha will be there with your latest forecast, all the updates from the polls as well. Emily Roberts, Kristen Allen are live out at the polling places in Green Bay and the Fox Valley, bringing you all the latest updates, so make sure to tune in for that, Steve. Thank you very much. We will take a look at a soggy Green Bay to say goodbye to you on this Tuesday morning, excuse me. It is Tuesday. And Election Day 2024 is in full swing. Again, watch Action 2 News at mid-morning coming up at 9 o'clock and stick with us on air and online for all the latest updates throughout Election Day.